Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing just fine. In today's lab experiment, we're trying to simulate a scenario where the following configuration are going to set. There would be a router and there would be another router, and the connection between the router and router would be through crossover cable. Obviously, since it is a same type of devices, and this router will connect a switch, and the cable connection type would be copper straight through cable, obviously because it's a different type of devices. And at the in devices there would be PC1 and PC2. Okay, and the for the right portion it'd be just same the thing. Okay, let me just finish it. PC3 and also PC4. Okay, the thing we're trying to simulate here, that we have defined this portion as local area network 1 and this portion as local area network of 2. Okay, so if we try to send packets or message from this portion all the way to here, how we're going to do that? There we have to go through the default gateway routing, since this PC and this PC is going to use the same routing path. It is called the default routing. We have to exclusively define it, and also router to router port connection also needs to be sent, so we have to also send the port addresses of that router. We could use any class of the IP addresses. So the main fundamental thing is that since this is a LAN 1 or local area network 1, we use class C IP addressing, but we'll do the subnetting here, subnetting here, subnetting here. What is subnetting? For a example, if we set a IP address for this device, it will be like 192.168.10.1, and this would be 192.168.10.2. What would be its network address? It would be all obviously 192.168.10.0. Okay, if we do the subnetting, the thing would be changed over just this portion. It will just simply add another different number. It would be just different. So if we choose something like this for this PC, since it's another network, we could obviously define it as 192.168.11.1, and we could choose 192.168.11.2. That is called subnetting. Yeah, but the class is always the same. It is the class C IP address. So what would be network address of this local area network? 192.168.11.0. Okay, and we also have to set the path of the default gateway. It would be something like that: 192.168.11.10, and for this one we could choose anything: 192.168.10.10. And this router that we have choose have 3 port: gigabit Ethernet 00, 00, 01, 02. Based on which port we have chosen, we have to exclusively set that port's IP addresses. So we're going to choose in our experiment gigabit Ethernet 01 port, also for this one 01. So in that port we have to configure it as the following: class A IP address. We could choose anything, but I have just simply chosen class A IP address. It would be something like 2, and for this one it would be 10.0.0.1. Okay, let's try to configure it in the Cisco packet tracer. simulation software. Okay, so first of all we have to choose a router. Yeah, a router. For the router we have chosen 2901. Let's see how many ports it have. As far as I know, it has only 2 ports. Okay. But if when we try to use establish a triangular path, it would be not convenient to use that. So 2911 would be a better option for that. So let's see how many port it has. It has 3 port. Okay, that would be better for our use case or scenario. So let's choose a Swiss. We could choose 2960 Swiss. That would be great for our experiment. And for the in devices, we could choose anything, but in this experiment, we're just using 2 PC. PC1, PC2, and over here, PC1 and PC2. Okay, so let me have some moment. I have to figure it out. Okay, now let me rearrange it a little bit so that it could be represented in more organized manner. Okay, let's see it. Okay, now we have to establish the connection. PC and PC0 and PC1, those in devices are being connected with the switch, and both are different types of devices. We have to use copper straight through cable. We all know the fundamental why it is being used, because there are different devices, and we're connecting this switch with the router. We have to choose, and the port we're choosing is gigabit Ethernet 0. We have to remember that port also, because we have to set up the default gateway on that specific port. If we just hover over that port or that red triangle with just simply that port that is being gigabit Ethernet 00, we have to do the same configuration over here. Okay, you can just simply choose any of the port. It doesn't matter which one we're choosing. Okay, now we have to be careful which port we are going to choose. In this side, we have chosen gigabit Ethernet 00. So we have also chosen this one or this one. That would be more convenient for our case, I guess. And for router to router connection, we have to choose crossover cable. We will choose gigabit Ethernet 01 with gigabit Ethernet 01. That would be more appropriate to use at this moment. Okay, so now let's try to put some tags. So that would be more convenient. This section is called local area network 1, and we have choose class C IP addresses with the subnetting of initials of 10, and this section is called local area network of 2 with the network addresses of 11 subnetting initial. Okay, so let's try to put a tag in it. Yeah, 192. What is going on? Okay, let's try to finish it. 192.168.10.0. Come on, man. 10.0. Okay, that is called the network address of this local area network. Okay, then we will have, and to establish the same way, 192.168.11.0. That is the subnetting of this class C IP address. 10 is for this local area network, 11 is for this local area network. And if we try to more exclusively uniquely identify this PC, that would be the following manner: 192.168.10.1, and for this one would be like 192.168.10.2. okay, and for this VC it would be 192.168. subnet of 11.1. okay, that's the difference. 192.168.11.1 2. Okay, that's all of it. And now we have to configure the default gateway. These two PC are using the same path. We have to name it as a default gateway. Since we're using the class C IP addresses, the network portion should be same, but just simply change the host portion. That would be more appropriate. And okay, so we have to choose the this port, which is gigabit 01 ports IP addresses. We could just use any of the classes. We could so for my preferences, I'm just simply going to use class A IP addresses. It is based on your preference. We could choose any of it. 10.0.0.2. Okay, and same way the default gateway of this version would be based on these address. Okay, so 192.168.11.10. Okay, now we have demonstrated the tag in the each of the pieces beautifully. Now we have to configure the actual connection on the PC. Okay, so we have chosen the PC. Let's try to minimize it a little bit. Okay, now it looks more meaningful. Okay, we have chosen this PC, then we have to go to the desktop, then do the IP configuration over here. Okay, then we have to choose the IP addresses. So for this PC, the IP address would be something like it: 192.168.10.1. And what would be the subnet marks? Since it is a class C IP addresses, the first three portion would be the network address and the last one will be host. Default gateway, we have chosen this path, so we have to input it in the following manner: 168.10.10. Okay, that is being set. Okay, the same way we have to do this one. Desktop IP configuration, then what would be it? We have chosen this PC, so it would be something like 192.168.10.2. Subnet marks will be set automatically. Default gateway would be something like this. Okay, 192. This is called the default gateway. Okay, I haven't entered the date. 192.168.10.10. Okay, that is being set. Okay, so that is being set. So the switch is also connected with the router in the port of 00. So we have to choose the router and set up the default gateway address. Which port we have to choose? Gigabit Ethernet 00. We have to choose it. Then set the IP address, which is 192.168.10.10. Okay, subnet marks will be obviously, since this is a class C IP address, this is, and we also have to own this router. Okay, and for the same way we have to configure the LAN2 IP addresses in the following manner. So let's just do it and quickly. So we have chosen the desktop IP configuration. What would be the IP address? 192.168.11.11.1. Okay, subnet mask will be automatically sent. Default gateway, which path it is choosing 192.168.11.10. Okay, 192.168.11.10. Okay, PC2 is being set up perfectly. To do it for the last PC3, it would be in the same following manner. Okay, IP configuration, IP address would be what? 192.168.11.2. 192.168.11.2. Subnet mask would be something like this. Default gateway, let's recheck it. 192.168.11.10. Okay, it is also being set. In which port it is connected with the switch, we have to check it. Let's hover over it. Gigabit Ethernet 00. Let's choose the router, then go to the configuration, Ethernet 00. whose default gateway address it is 192.168.11.10. The subnet mask would be automatically set on. We have done it. So now these switches are connected with this switch with the port address of 01 and 01. So we have to configure this IP address to that port address also. Let's try to configure it. Ethernet 0. What is the IP address? 10.0.0.1. It would be, since it's a class A IP addresses, the initial with starts with 255 network address, rest of them are host. Let's on it. Okay, also let's do the same thing on the other end of the router. It was connected on gigabit Ethernet 01. So okay, 10.0.0.2 255 and also on it. Okay, I guess everything is perfectly set it up, configured perfectly, and let's try to send some packages. If I just simply try to do it in the first time, it will show some error, but eventually if we try to do it 3 or 4 times, at the meantime it will be just fine. So let's do it. In the first time it could be error, okay, but we have to do it again. Let's see it. It's just reconfiguring the whole thing. The routing thing has been set. Okay. Oh yeah, the error is obvious. We haven't set the static routing yet. We haven't shown the port of this router to this network yet. We have to do it. Okay. So we have to go to the router and also set up the static routing path. Okay. So we are choosing this router and we have to show the network address of or local area network of this section. So we have to choose it. Yeah, exclusively choose it. Okay, so we are currently on this router 2. We have to show the network address on the right hand version. So what would be the network of address? This would be the network address 192.168.11.0. What would be the subnet mask? Since it is class C IP address 255.255.255.0. What would be next hop? We're currently on this hop. What would be the next hop? 10.0.0. Next hop is some kind of station. We're currently on A station. We're going to the B station. So the B station hop would be 10.0.0.2. We have to just simply add it. Okay, it's being added. So the same thing has to be done on this router too. We have to go to the router, then do the following routing. Okay, we are currently on this router. We have to show this routing configuration. How could we do that? What would be the network address? We defined it previously, so just let's simply put it over there. 10.0. Okay, max would be something like 25.25.25.0. Since it's a class C IP address. The next hop, we're currently on this station. The next following station would be on our left side, this one. So this one would be our next hop. Okay, so it would be something like 10.0.0.1. Let's just simply add it. Okay. Now if we try to send the package, it would be successful. I guess it would be successful, but if it still doesn't work, I have to try it again. Let's try to see it. I hope it works at this moment. Successful. See, now everything was set up perfectly. Now that's why it's working nicely and seamlessly. Okay, let's try to do it again. That was another error. Okay, now it's successful. Okay, let's see it. Suppose we're trying to send a package to here. See, successful. Okay, now let's try to do this. We see it is also successful, and we could also see a real life simulation. We have to delete the previous two package. Let's try to do it. Okay, the first Swiss, and it will use the default gateway and the router. From this router, it will go to these network addresses. The next hop is 10.0.2. Now it will specifically go to this Swiss, and from there it will specifically choose the which PC we have chosen. It remembers that this is MAC address. The destination section or receiver section has received the package, so it has sent a acknowledgement of that following packages that I have received your message. So our whole thing has been configured and the lab experimented has been conducted successfully. So at the end of this session, I can just simply bring it to an end. Thanks for watching and your time.